Peace and blessings, everyone. Give me 1 second to get this flyer off. Boom, here we go. All right, y'all. I pray that everyone is doing well this wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I'm excited about today's show. I'm going to put my earbuds in real quick and we're going to get started. So, I wanted to start first with a video, but for whatever reason, YouTube is blocking me. So we just gonna roll with it. But I wanted to start with a clip actually from like 1980s of Minister Farrakhan discussing the book How to Eat to Live. But it's all good because we're gonna talk about it today and some more stuff. So once again, you are tuned in to the Art of Living show. I am your host, Imani Muhammad. You may hear this on a podcast, and so just want to welcome you all as viewers and listeners. And once again, as you know, that this show came about from the title of my book called The Art of Living. If you have not purchased this book, highly encourage you all to just, head on over to Traveling Pillar and get your copy of your own Art of Living book. Of course, anybody that purchases it gets a signed copy. So that's the shameless plug. It's not even shameless. That's the real plug. Go ahead and get your copy of The Art of Living. So today's show, we are going to talk about how there is a necessity in our community to heal our mind first before we can heal our body. The last couple of shows have been really good. We've talked about, the pros and cons of the metaverse and some more information. But I think this is probably my favorite show. More importantly, because I think it's so important for us to understand the value of our body, understand the significance of who we are as Asiatic original people, and then more importantly, why it is so important in this day and time for us to be able to understand the science of our body so that we can heal our body. So we know that we are in a so-called pandemic. We are in a situation where our health is being attacked. And so what better way to understand how to heal the body but to learn from a doctor? So I'm gonna bring my brother in, let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna jump into our conversation. Peace and blessings. How are you? Uh-oh. The audio is not there. Can you hear me?
Salams. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I can hear you. Oh, I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm doing real good. Doing real good.
Okay.
Just making sure you can hear me. You can hear me, right?
I hear you now. Yes, sir. It's kind of fading in and out, but you good right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited to,
for the
pick
record,
your brain. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you're trying to discuss. As you said, I go by the name of Dr. Pilan Anku Xi Amaru. That is my tribal indigenous name. I changed my name to that to protect myself as far as the health and wellness, being that I can say the word cure now versus being a part of, United States government and being called Damon Fauntleroy. Well, there wouldn't have been, they could do what they want to do with me. You know what I mean?
I do.
So
I got you.
I switched to my indigenous name so they understand that I am tribal, I am indigenous. So I'm here to take care of, indigenous people in their healthcare needs, separate from their hospital institutions.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just so
Yeah.
you know, brother, there is a little bit of a delay. I think my audio is good. Your audio is good. Just your video is delayed. So it may just be
Okay.
choppy in our questions. But just so you know, on my end. But your audio is
Okay.
good. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, so the first question I wanted to ask is just how did you even begin to create Healing Code? What was Healing Code about? Where did that idea come from? And just share that with the people.
To be honest, I would have to give honor and respect where it's due. The father and architect, the grand architect of the Healing Code is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There is no question about that. From his teachings, speaking about separation, I came up with the healing code because we needed our own. Are you still there?
I'm here, yes, sir. It's just centered on you. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. So I came up with healing code because we needed something separate from what was going on. American society, their hospitals and their medications and their diet prescribed for indigenous people or Black African American people. It's causing us to be the sickest people on planet Earth. So it was, it was either me continue to watch what's going on in my community and throughout the world. I could watch and continue to let us suffer, on a food level, a mental level, and a spiritual level, instead of watching. I sought to see what I could do to improve it. And I came across some indigenous knowledge where, the teacher, Dr. Amaru Namataga Shi Ali, he was speaking of curing cancer, curing HIV, just pretty much the work Dr. CB did. We just picked up the baton, like, no, we're not going to let him pass. We're not going to let his information die off. Those with courage, those who want to be brave are going to pick up the baton, no matter results. Whatever happens, whatever comes, it's going to come, but we're going to pick up the baton and continue to help heal and repair our community with our indigenous knowledge, telling our people that no, you don't have to continue to have cancer. You don't have to continue to have diabetes. You don't have to have HIV. You don't have to have any of this stuff if you don't want it. If you don't want it, you do have an institution now in Portland, Oregon that knows how to get rid of everything. You don't have to have anything far as disease in the body. So if anybody in Portland, Oregon, if they have any type of disease and they haven't heard, about healing code, then it's time for them to learn, the healing code is here. We specialize in Black biology. They call me Dr. Pilan, but more, so you can understand on a scientific level, I'm more of a molecular bionutritionist, which means I specialize in how to feed cells, how to feed molecules, and how to feed atoms. So I can tell you, what's going to make it diseased or what's not going to make you diseased on a cellular level versus just eat what you want because your tongue wants to eat it. No, I don't specialize in that. I tell you, what's going on cellular, so we can get, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, let's get to the root of it so we don't have to deal with the bull crap, So I specialize in getting to the root of sickness,
Absolutely. And for those that will listen to this or, check this out later, the book that we're referring to is How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, book 1 and 2. And I love, when I met you, brother, we definitely connected just on a spiritual and just connection level. But what I also appreciate about you is that you're uncompromising when it comes to the approach on how to heal the body, right? And so, like you said, Western medicine does a lot of focusing on symptoms as opposed to getting to the root of the problem. And so I think it's really important for all of us to understand that you can take medication to address symptoms, but you will never address the real problem and the root problem of what is happening in our bodies. And so, you also talk about, or you also deal with natal charts. And again, not to go deep in it, because I want people to reach out to you if they want more information about it. But as I was listening to you and you talk about the molecular level, that's all connected to understanding how we came into be on this planet Earth, right? So the stars and the alignment and how our organs are affected. So can you talk a little bit, just, as much as you want to share, just about that connection or that understanding of that science and how that helps you find the root to all illnesses and disease?
Okay, yeah, that's the excellent question. That's going to take a couple minutes. But what I want to say is, first and foremost, is that there's two things that we need to talk about. Well, there's three. We said mind and body.
Yes.
There's not a problem with that, but there's three things that need to be talked about. One is that the mind is not the brain. So there's the mind and there's the brain. Then you can heal the body. So first we have to understand what the mind is. And this mind thing, what I'm taught in Aboriginal Medical Association, because I am a naturopath doctor, but I am also studying to be an astropsychologist. So a psychologist on a planetary level where we use astrology. So what we say the mind is waves. We're dealing with waves of thought. We're dealing with what word am I looking for? We're dealing with waves. We're dealing with thoughts. We're thinking. We're dealing. So look at it like this. Like if we go to the ocean, we see in an ocean, or can we say, okay, let me try to maneuver or guide this wave into a different path versus trying to heal that wave, because you can't heal a wave in an ocean. You know, so that's the same with the mind. The mind is just waves, brain waves, alpha, beta, theta, delta. They're just waves. They're dark energy. They're black magnetons. They're the dark matter that we're talking about. That's mind. So it doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it, you know, whatever you want to call this source. Sagittarius A. Allah. We can call it whatever we want, but it's just dark energy, you know. So that's what's considered the mind. It's just waves. Now these waves are what programs do. So the brain is just the receiver and the transmitter of these waves. So if you're going to heal something, we can heal the brain, but we can't heal the mind. The mind is perfect. You can't do nothing with the mind. The mind is absolutely perfect. There's nothing you can do with it, but you can change the way when you're allowing these, the positive, the beautiful up from this meta you let come into your thoughts. So that's like the deeper aspect of the mind and the brain aspect, but that's where we're getting the problems with our, you know, we got these songs playing and these brain waves or these mind waves are coming into your brain, and y'all and you know we got everybody, you know, they letting the kids listen to all kind of different music, and we don't know what waves is coming into their brain, and then our kids start acting out this stuff, and then we're like, well, where'd that thought come from? Well, where did those waves come from? You know, so it's a matter of, you know, blocking off our mental space, you know, in that aspect. So getting into the astrological aspects, I would say the astrology and the astronomy aspect is a much deeper aspect. I bring that in there to deal with the more serious people. Some people come to me, they want a natal chart just to understand their good patterns, their bad patterns, their potential health issues, things of that nature. But I tend to, on the health side, I prefer to do the natal charts to be able to heal the more serious health problems or health obstacles, sort of the word I prefer to use, like HIV. Currently, I have 4 HIV clients. Now, on top of, I believe it's 5 cancer clients. In order for me to be able to help these people heal, we have to understand astrology from, these are your planets. Okay, you're a Sagittarius, you're a Leo. you're a Pisces, that type of thing. So when your sun brings you into this orbit, wherever your sun is, if it's at home, if it's on the rise, or if it's at fall, or if it's at detriment, that's going to determine how strong your heart is going to be, or how strong your lungs is going to be. So say you're born as a Libra, and your sun is or not as a Libra, but as a Leo, and your sun is in Leo, that means a strong heart. You have all your characteristics. You'll be charismatic. You'll be a strong leader, which will make you strong. We came to the planet stronger people. Okay,
Hold on,
so
we
then
kind of
say
we're losing you a little bit.
your heart's in fault will mean it's in.
Oh, wait. Yep. Hold on, we're losing him a little bit, y'all, because he's dropping knowledge. I want to make sure that we get this good, because he went into the whole science of the Libra and all of that. So let me see. Oh, y'all. But again, as you all hear this, I hope that it's raising the importance of how we have to really tune into our bodies, right? And understand where we are and who we are. Because again, we can't heal anything unless we know who we are, right? So 1 second, y'all. So again, we're referencing How to Eat to Live as our source and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I'm gonna bring the brother back in just for the audio if his video doesn't work, but I don't want us to miss this. So let me see if it's better now. All right. You back? Yes, it's still cutting out.
Am I?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I'm not sure.
They don't want the wisdom to go over the airways.
So what can I do?
Turn
the camera off.
Yeah, that might be better.
You can or can't?
I can hear you. Yep. Yep, you good now. Yeah, when the Wi-Fi kicks in, or when it's in and out, sometimes just keeping the video off will be better. But I don't know.
Am I on here or no?
Oh, now you good.
Okay. Yeah, just
now you real time. Look, now your mouth and your hands are moving right on time.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's get into it. They get in our way again.
Yep. Right. No, this is good. This is good now. So you I had to, or it cut off when you were talking about the rising sign, right? The rising sun, and how that will play into either the heart or a certain organ. So if you wanted to go back to that part.
I mean, yeah, when it comes to natal charts and things of that nature, what they don't tell us is everything corresponds to an organ in our body. Like the sun represents the heart and the blood in your body. Taurus represents the endocrine system in the body. Gemini represents the respiratory in the it represents Mercury as well, but it represents aspects of our body and our lungs and things of that nature. So, like they say, as above, so below, everything corresponds. So what we need to understand is, well, the way I teach health is like this. And this is the, the deeper aspect of it is there's a huge separation when it comes to human beings and their body. So what I want to, the way I want to look at it is like this. We have God on the right hand, and then we have over here. So here's God right here. We can't see him, but we love him to death. Unconditionally, we don't care. We love God. We love everything about God, and we can't see him. We have evidence of absolutely, but we can't see him.
Right.
So my take on it is, yes, I love God as well, but, well, there is no but. I don't want to put the but in there. I love God as well. But the key is, we also, on this hand, we have every organ in our body. We have the heart, lungs, and everything. We love God and we can't see him. Why don't we love our heart and our lungs, even though we can't see them? Because we'll throw anything in our body and don't care nothing about nothing. We'll clog our whole body up with butters and everything you can imagine. And we don't think, man, what about my heart? How does my heart feel? Is it palpitating? Do I got heart murmurs? What's going to make my heart run better? I smoke a cigarette. Why am I clogging and polluting my lungs up? So it's like we can't see our organs in our body, so we don't care about them, but we love God and we can't see him, but we care about him, so that's in the way I teach. I'm trying to turn people inward. Like, why do you care? Everything on the outside of you, you give it value. Everything on the outside, your car has value. You respect it, you give it value because you can see it, you can buy it. Well, hell, a heart costs $1.5 million to replace.
Right.
1.5 million to get a heart transplant. And you throwing anything in that heart? So yeah, the way I'm trying to teach is from the inside out. It's just trying to get people to understand, like, man, you're fighting against yourself. Your heart trying to keep you alive. Your lungs are trying to keep you alive. Your kidneys are trying to keep you alive. Your liver is trying to keep you alive. Nothing loves you more than your organs in your body. There's nothing on the planet that loves you more than your organs. And you hate them. The whole world is to hate them to death. We pour liquor in them. We pour pancake syrup all over them. Like, take this. I don't care what's going on with y'all inside, but take this. I feel like drinking liquor today. Take it. So it's like,
when you put it like that, that's just reality, And what's the benefit of society not teaching that? Like, what's the benefit of society or the consequence of us not knowing that?
The consequence of us not knowing it is we end up at the hospital generating money, because that's the profit of society. You're a ticket. Your money, your energy, your currency. You're going to generate money for the hospitals if you're not aware of, or put it like this: if you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself, you walk your butt in the hospital, talk to a doctor, and tell the doctor, take care of me better than I take care of myself. That's what we do doctors when we go see them. Please take care of me better than I take care of myself.
Man.
It's
That's
kind of
exactly what we're doing.
It's kind of insanity,
It is. You actually I have this anyway next to me, but this book right here, if anyone has not read this or wants to read this book, talks exactly about how the American Medical Association, the American Psychology Association or Psychiatry, and the Dental Association, how they're all in cahoots, and the whole purpose, right, is profit. You know what I mean? And so I shared this on my previous show, but I'll share it here because it's relevant. When I read this book, a section of it, it was talking about root canals. And root canals, I think everybody in this world, well, a lot of folks have had root canals, right? At the time I had 3 and I read this book. And what he talks about is that root canals are, first of all, the essence of a root canal is all they do is deaden the root, right? So that you don't feel the pain. So depending on how infected or how messed up that root was, is the severity of how they deal with it, right? So they deaden it, but they don't extract it. So the root is always still in your mouth. And so the canal part is just them gutting it out. They gut the root out so that you don't have the infection, but that root is still there, right? And then you got to get a cap because you got to cover that tooth. And if you're like me, I want gold or platinum. So I got to pay another $2,500 or $3,000 for the cap. And the procedure is like $1,500, right? So this brother, Dr. Scott Whitaker talks about how it's all about money. It's insurance policy. So and so they push root canals. But the logical sense, and it's just like cancer in the body, right? If you got a root that's infected, you don't want to keep it in the body. You want to get it out. And so extractions are about $300 to $400. So they don't push extractions in the dental, field. They push root canals because they get $4,000 to $5,000 off of every procedure. So just that alone, I said, man. And so I started looking at all these different diagnoses, right? Chemotherapy is another one. That's just some money anyway. So what you're saying is so vital about how we go to the doctor and ask them to take better care of our body than we can, to ourselves. And so that was the other question I want to, pose to you about, you mentioned it being profitable. What other reasons or maybe factors do you think, especially with the Asiatic community, of the why we're in this condition that we're in?
I believe we're in this condition because we're scared to death of these people. I mean, to keep it 100, we're scared to death of these people. So like us in our community, we don't question the hospitals. They'll question me, calling myself a doctor. I'm curing every known anything on planet Earth. I'm curing it all. But in our people's mind, oh, that boy, he ain't no doctor. He don't know what he's talking about. So they're more comfortable going to the hospital because it's a conditioning. We've been going to the hospital for hundreds of years. We've been going for years. And I've got plenty of people. I got people with high blood pressure. They've been on high blood pressure for 12 years straight, and they still only go to the doctor. You've given a doctor 12 years to help you heal your body. You've given them 12 years, and I'm asking you to give me 3 months, and I'll get rid of it for you for good. Wow. And you don't trust me. You don't want to trust me for 3 months to help you heal, which means you're living in fear, and there's nothing I can do for you because you're scared to live without pills. So it's really the fear to death. You don't want to live without those pills because the doctor taught you that you need pills to live. You don't think God is giving you the ability to live. You think the pills are giving you the ability to live.
Man. Yeah.
Part about it, So I think we're more in fear than anything. So that's what's causing us to generate people money because we don't want to question authorities. We're scared to question authority. We don't want to do our own research. And when Black people do research, I literally not only do research, I'm testing food and I'm testing human beings 6 days out of the week.
Right.
Sometimes 7 days out of the week, I'm literally testing them for nitrogen. I'm testing their iron. I'm testing anything you can imagine. I'm testing them. So I'm doing it based on science so I can give y'all the science.
Right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Master Fard Muhammad didn't like fractions. I'm not going to give you the fraction of the information. I'm going to break it down to the least common denominator so you know what I'm talking about so we can get to the root of it. We need the root. We're obsessed with this fraction of information, which is the belief, and the belief is what's killing us. You can have high blood pressure for 12 years and you believe you still can eat pork. Right. You believe you still eat ribs. You still believe you can eat eggs. But
Yep.
these are all beliefs. This has nothing to do with truth because you're happy
Right.
with the information. So
Right.
then you have to me so I can break it down to the least common denominator so we can remove the, because let me tell you like this, because it gets extremely deep. But us as indigenous people, Blacks, African people, what we've fallen for is, I mean, there's thousands of lies, but we've fallen for what's a very detrimental lie that we deal with is called this amino acid thing. Amino acid means nitrogen. Okay, so this, the aspect of it. Well, let me give it to you this way. Asians and Europeans, their DNA structure, and then I'll go into even blacks, whites, when they mate together and they mix. And then there's a kid that's half white, half black out that as well. But first, I'll address two. Asian and Europeans, their DNA structure is exactly the same. Their DNA is composed of three major components: nitrogen, sulfur, and ammonia. Now, how can you absolutely 100% tell that they're high in ammonia, high in sulfur, and high in nitrogen? Have you ever been around a European or Asian when they come in from the rain or any of that thing, and you smell them when they come in, their hair and things of that nature? What you're smelling, ammonia, sulfur, and nitrogen. You could smell it coming out of pores. So their DNA structure. So now you have blacks, indigenous people, African Americans. Their DNA structure is made of three components: carbon, copper, and selenium. So see, we're absolutely different.
Completely different.
Okay, so here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Natural enemies. This has nothing to do with being racist. So
come on.
Nitrogen as a gas hates carbon, so it tries to kill it on every survival of the fittest. So nitrogen tries to kill carbon every chance it gets. So what do they do as scientists with the agriculture and things of that nature? They learned how to put nitrogen in the soil to kill the carbon. So now there's no carbon in the soil or in the food, and who's the only people that needs to ingest carbon? Okay, so when we're dealing with the soil, we have to deal with carbon-based soil. That way, the people that need carbon, which are black people, indigenous people, they can get their carbon by doing organic agriculture. So you can make sure you're getting your minerals. So they're natural enemies, even in the atmosphere. So in the atmosphere, what God made in the human body to get rid of excess nitrogen is the liver. The liver can handle all nitrogen in the hemisphere. It can handle that. That's what it's for. But what it can't handle is the nitrogen going in the soil, then going into the food, and then you got nitrogen in the cow, in the pig. You got the nitrogen. Soon you drink a cup of coffee, that's a bomb of nitrogen. So what it is the reason indigenous people, black people, are sick in America because the diet is 99% nitrogen. That's the problem. Okay. So that's why black people becoming obese. We're obese, we're sick, we got every disease. Why? Because our body is overdosing on, and that's the point I'm about to get into, is this protein thing. Now, the protein thing is the lie that we've been agreeing to.
Yes.
So what it is a structure, and I can't pull it up, but it's a structure called amino acid. Now, this amino acid means nitrogen, like we just explained, which black people are allergic to. That's why we're so sick from the American diet, because of the nitrogen. This amino acid that they tell us about, which is pure nitrogen, they tell us we need it because it helps us build protein and all that. But the structure, and everybody can Google it once we get off, it's called the amino acid structure. And you'll pull it up, and what you'll see is there's an N on the back, which represents nitrogen. But then the whole other part of the structure, they call the whole structure amino acid. But the only part of the structure that's amino acid is the little bitty 10% in the back, with the N on it, which represents nitrogen. The rest of it is called a carboxylic acid. The key word in there is carboxylic acid. So instead of them calling it a carboxylic acid, so that Black people know they need carbon in their diet, they call the whole thing amino acid and tell you that you need this because it's protein, and that's the whole thing that's scamming us into being sick, because we don't understand that our body, it's not, amino acid is not what we need. We need carbon. What's carbon? Watermelon, melons, food with fruit in it, blackberries, blueberries. We need carbohydrates, electrons to keep our body in sufficient order, So it's deep. We could go so.
Man, you said so much right there. And what is interesting about it is that like you said, the lies that we've been told, when we look at even the food pyramid, right? And I mean, this was very early for me. When you look at the food pyramid, they have fruits and vegetables as a smaller quantity than I think is grains and protein. Where we know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad basically told us, eat as much fruit, as you can, and as much vegetables. Yeah, he prescribed which vegetables, but just common sense would tell us, when you look at the food pyramid that they gave us, that the food pyramid doesn't even make sense. Why would you tell us to eat less of God's, what comes straight from the ground, So what you bring up, go ahead.
Look at the food pyramid.
Right.
Why would you let somebody that doesn't know how to build a pyramid teach you what a food pyramid is? You know what I mean?
Right. Period.
They don't know how to make a pyramid.
Right. They had to go study, and that's how they build Greece, by stealing our knowledge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just common. Yeah, it's common. But so much of what we go ahead.
No, I was going to just say we just have to start doing our own research.
Right.
Start trusting our own people to do the knowledge, because we are out here doing the knowledge. If you want to be more healthier, we can give you the science. Like, we're up under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're not trying to give you no fraction of no information.
Right.
Break it down to the atoms.
Right.
On a big level, sickness is not physical; it's mental first. So what they walk in, because I'm in my office. You walk in here, I'm going to tell you, you are mentally and spiritually sick. I don't have time to play with you.
Right.
We don't have time for those games, because you're on stage for cancer. We don't have time to be talking to you about no stuff. I'm going to deliver it to you, maybe a little softer, but I'm going to tell you, you are spiritually and mentally sick right now.
Right.
Have to fix that first before we can do anything with the body. We have to get to the truth first.
Right. So let's talk about that real quick, just on the healing the mind versus healing the mind first, then the body. So you've kind of touched on it already, but when you say we got to deal with the mind, so you explain that a little bit. We're talking about dismantling the beliefs, the lies.
So like we said, I mean, when we're dealing with the mind, we're dealing with waves. So we got to condition, better waves. You can heal the brain, though. So that's how we're going to heal the brain. Meditation, prayer with these foods. These are foods. Prayer is food.
Yes.
Meditation is food on a neurological level.
Yes.
We say we don't eat anything until noon in my tribe, indigenous tribe. We don't eat anything until noon. But we do try to get sun. We do try to, we make sure we get prayer, meditation, and we do breathing exercises every day faithfully. There's no way around that. That's how you heal and repair the brain, per se. But I believe you just have to, first I have to remove the lies like we already did, like the amino acid lie. We have to get rid of that lie. Then we have to let people know who they are. Most people don't know who they are. So once I break it, we said sulfur, ammonia, and nitrogen is the three components of Asians and Europeans. Carbon, selenium, and copper is the European, not the European, but the indigenous Black Africans. Right. So let me go backwards, because I forgot to mention the people that are Black and white. So now you got black people mixing with Europeans, and now you're creating these children. Nitrogen is a carbon. So it's going to come into the body, start fighting off the carbon. It's going to start trying to kill the carbon. So now we got interracial kids coming in. What they telling them? You got lupus. What is lupus? Oh, your body's eating itself. What do you mean it's eating itself? Nitrogen to kill the carbon in the body. They're scientific enemies. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with racism at all.
Right.
But they're natural enemies. So now we have interracial kids that are coming up with different diseases. They come in here with lung problems. They come in with lupus. They having reproductive problems. Why? Because the nitrogen's trying to kill them. Because that's what it does. Nitrogen is not. Nitrogen does not like to cooperate. It doesn't. And you can see it in the people. You can see it. They don't play nice. Nitrogen does not play nice. It wants to take over everything. That's like why the first food I have to tell my cancer people, you cannot eat mushrooms. Why can't you eat mushrooms when you're a Black indigenous person? What is mushroom? Okay, let's break it down for you. Mushrooms' DNA structure is sulfur, ammonia, and nitrogen. Whose DNA structure is that? And then you can look it up, and then you can look at
Asian.
You look it up, and you tell people. They say, "Well, mushrooms are similar to humans." What humans? Tell me which humans, so we can. Don't tell me they're good for people if you can't tell me the root of it. Whose DNA structure? Because yes, they are similar to humans. Their DNA structure, but who? That's the key to it. You have to know whose. But talked about it. Black people know who they are. You know your carbon, copper, selenium. You're not nitrogen, sulfur, in ammonia. That's not you. Them aren't your ancestors.
Right.
Your ancestors are carbon. Why do you think they made fun of you? It was always a pitch black cartoon character with big old red lips. They made fun of you to keep you away from your superfood, which is watermelon. Watermelon is our superfood. That's like Superman getting his natural food is watermelon. But what Superman gets kryptonite on his neck. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is our kryptonite in our body. That's why we're so sick. Yeah.
Man. Okay. So I want to ask you this question. Wow. My brother just joined. He's dropping the comments. Say that again. Yeah, we carbon. He mentioned it too. So like if you just got on here about 3-4 minutes ago, just make sure you listen to the live again. He breaks it all the way down about how the Asians and Europeans makeup is different than the indigenous people. So tap into that. I want to ask you a question about, and this is really what kind of wanted me to bring you. I mean, of course, I always want to have a conversation with you, but this in particular was around CMOS, and we talked about this a little bit. And you had posted, there was conversations of whether or not CMOS causes cancer versus the ingredient in CMOS that can exacerbate, the cancer that may be in somebody's body. So can you break that down? But before you break that piece down, why is CMOS so important? What is it about CMOS that, after Dr. Sebi's passing, everybody wants to jump on it? So where's that at? And then also just break down the ingredient inside of it.
CMOS, for the record, I don't sell it per se, but I do have 2 products that I do have CMOS in. I have my my digestional cleaner that I put CMOS in, and then I have the kidney formula that I use CMOS in, which is a liquid, and then the digestive one is a powder form. But I believe the good thing about CMOS, or I'll start with the positive things about it, because there is a few good things about it. There is 214 different CMOSs. Let's just be clear about that. The Glossiera, that's the best one for us. as indigenous people. Why is that one the most important for Black people specifically? Because they're porous. What I mean by porous is because they absorb more minerals out of the water than the other sea mosses, which aren't porous, which mean all they do is gather fungus under the water. They gather in bacteria, funguses, and all that type of stuff, which makes them bad for indigenous people. Because once you say fungus, bacteria, and all that, all you're saying is nitrogen. That's why we had to get the nitrogen aspect out the way so we can understand our biology. So the Glossera is the one we use because we've tested it. We've tested the Glossera, and what the Glossera has is 17 minerals in it that are very essential for us. And they're absolutely amazing for us, you know, from the iron and the calcium. It has all those in there, but there's only 17 minerals total in the Glossera, and that's the most minerals you'll find in sea moss for that that particular brand. Now, all the other sea mosses, all of them come up to 11 total minerals, and then there's a few that come up with just 7. So I think the problem, like from us being testers of sea moss, and then I'll give you guys the site that we go on to. You have to subscribe. You have to pay for the subscription so you can be able to know the contents of the food. Any food you want to go in there and see, because all the labs, all the people that do lab work, all the scientists have to report to this website. The mineral content that they find, they have to show the science. They have to do all that stuff. So that's where we even report all our information. But if you go on there and type in sea moss, it'll show you all the contents, all the minerals that's in it. And then you will find there is no sea moss on planet Earth that has more than 17 minerals. So that's where the problem comes in, to where we kind of try to tell people, we don't mind you selling sea moss. Just please don't harm our community by giving it to HSV people or cancer people. That's all we ask. You know, when people come to buy from you, just ask them. I mean, it's really simple. Simple, because people email me before they buy products. And my sea moss products has the information on there. So it's just a simple, hey, do you have any, you know, health obstacles that you facing? If they say no, then good, they can have it. But if they have HSV, it's a horrible thing for them to have, because HSV is something that I believe I only have. Well, I got a woman right now that has HIV and HSV. So she has HIV and herpes. So on one hand, I have to know the science. I can't be doing beliefs. So on one hand, I can give her onions if she's HIV, but on the other hand, her HSV can't have onions, and vice versa. So I have to know the science. I can't just give them, you know, certain things. So sea moss isn't the only thing that has the arginine in it. That's what feeds cancer cells. That's what feeds the HSV, because HSV is lodged in the spine. I have to uproot it out of people's spine to get it out of them. But beans has arginine in it. Spinach. So it's more than just sea moss. It's you have to know the science so you can help people heal, because it's not just, hey, you can go vegan. No, you can't go vegan. You can't eat kale. You know, Black people shouldn't be eating kale, period. Black people shouldn't be eating spinach, period. You know, because these are goitrogens. What goitrogens means is they stop your uptake of potassium and calcium. It stops you from synthesizing these things. So they're what is the word? Destabilizers. They're destabilizing the system. So if you can't synthesize calcium, it's no use of you getting iron in your body, because you're not going to be able to do nothing. So even if they're taking sea moss, you can't do nothing with it, because you don't have any calcium to synthesize it or to help chelate it, to turn it into usable, usable, you know. So I say sea moss is a beautiful product when people are carrying forth the positive information, not delivering the constant lie. The lie is that it has 90 minerals. It has 90 minerals, and nor can a human being use 90 minerals. It's not even possible for us to use. We can only use 28 minerals on planet Earth, period. You can't use 90 minerals. So our thing is we try to, I mean, because we know our people are delicate. We've been abused, we've been beat down, so we can't just give them anything. We have to break the information down for us and quit giving ourselves fractions. Because we can give them, hey, CMOS has 90 minerals, take it. No, that's a fraction of the information. You didn't count, you know? So then if we're giving them the oh, let me give it to you, let me give you this, because this is a deeper aspect of it. So if you're in Jamaica, a higher amount of oxygen, because Black people, we expel oxygen. We're carbon-based people. But if a product from Ireland, where there's more Europeans, they're emitting nitrogen gas out when they exhale. So their product, their environment is going to be full of nitrogen because that's the basis of the people in that area. So that's why we say the Glossiera, like from Jamaica, because there's more Black people there. So the environment is oxygenated food. The soil has the minerals for carbon-based people. It's deep. You know what I mean?
You know, you just that statement is making me think of Dr. Aleem Muhammad, who at the time when I heard him say this, he was our head of our Ministry of Health. And he talked about how, you know, this whole push and this wave of organic food, right? And everything's organic. And he talked about how the soil, right? It's like the soil back in the 40s and the 50s is completely different than the soil today. So even if you are growing your own food, you still have to operate and make sure that you're fasting, you know, at minimum once a month, because there's still those extra toxins and poisons that we're still getting because the soil itself is not as pure or clean, you know, as it. Exactly.
So let's give this to the people so they can go Google it. It's an article called Modern Miracle Men. Modern Miracle Men. It's a free PDF you can Google that you'll get, and it'll speak on from 1930s. The soil has been depleted of minerals since the 1930s.
Yes.
So what you have to do is, like we already talked about, they put nitrogen in the soil, which is killing all the carbon. So what we do as indigenous people, as Aboriginal people, is we use carbon-based soil or carbon-based rock stone to put into the soil, so that we know that there's carbon being put into the soil. So we know that there's minerals in the soil. So our food is more designed for us versus having nitrogen in it, which means it's designed for European and Asians, you know? Like I got a brother here that does gardening, and I go to help him every once in a while, but I would look at his garden, and his garden is full of mushrooms, which means he's organically putting nitrogen in his food, because that's what they trained him to do, you know?
Right.
So even if you're a Black man, you're designing food for European and Asians, which is going to inevitably make us sick. But lack of knowledge is killing us. Right. You know, the beliefs are killing us. So, you know, I try to talk to them, you know, try to give them information, but you can't force people out of who they trust. You can't do it.
Right. So what would you say out of, I mean, we can, you know, we can go to CDC and look at statistics, but because you are, like you said, treating people 6 to 7 days per week, what are the top 3, I guess, issues that you are seeing in us as a people?
I would say just the beliefs.
Right.
Beliefs. Then once the beliefs get out the way, then you got, right now I'm treating HIV and cancer the most. That's the sad part. That's the sad part, that I'm treating those the most. But when I walked in the office today, it's a phenomenal thing, because it's the lady that I rent my space from. And she approached me because she don't like the European lady. She don't like the idea of vaccines. She's not getting it and don't care about it and don't want to hear nothing else about it. So she caught me walking into the office. She was like, "Hey, we come here real quick." And she said, "Well, what do you think?" "Well, I know I already talked to you about the vaccine before, but what do you think about it?" So I was like, "Well, this, that. And I told her, my opinion. I don't want to pass thought on people like that. But I told her, I was like, right now, I just got 4 HIV people in a matter of 2 weeks, just out of the blue. So then we begin to talk a little bit more. And then all of a sudden she said, well, did you hear about the booster shot? The booster shot, they're saying, is giving people HIV. I said, are you freaking kidding me? Just had my HIV clients just bumped up in the air, just out of the blue. So I told her, let me get into the office because I got an interview with my sister. So I was like, but I'll send you my email so you can send me that article so I can look through that article and see what booster shot is doing, because I've had HIV people come to me out. When I tell you out of the blue, I have 4 right now.
Wow.
4 right now, so I got, I have 3 with HIV by itself. And then I got 1 with the HIV and the herpes HSV with it. So yeah, and they came out of the blue. So it was like, man, it was phenomenal. So cancer and heart disease. We ruled heart disease for like the past 100 years.
Right.
Like we top of the list the whole time.
Right.
And the thing about it is, and this is why I tell people, don't trust people to cook your food, because you don't know, what they're cooking and what they're using, because the key word or the key thing in people that have heart disease is eating salt. Now, the problem with salt is 50% salt, it's 25% sand, and then it's 25% glass. That's why it shines. All right. So the problem with this glass being in salt is that when you eat this salt, the glass pokes your arteries. So it's poking holes in all your heart valves and all your arteries. Now, the key part about that is when you get all these holes, cholesterol is a natural healer. We need cholesterol for every hormone in the body. But the problem with cholesterol is it's a healer. So if it comes in your body and it sees its holes, it's going to start patching up holes. That's what it does. But the more it's patching up, the more it starts clogging on top of each other and clogging on top to where it's done clogged. Now you got high cholesterol, and now you headed towards a stroke because you eating salt that has glass in it and it's poking holes everywhere. So cholesterol comes in trying to band-aid your whole body, So that's why I tell people you have to, you can't just eat anywhere, because if people putting salt in food, they're putting gas in your food.
Yep.
Unintentional,
Whew, brother, you have, just this alone, just this information alone will change somebody's life, I wanted to ask you too, in terms of what you're seeing on a daily basis, what would you say? Because I think, and this goes with anyone that may just now be getting information, right? So anyone, obviously you've been studying for years. I've been in the Nation of Islam since 97. So not to say that we're experts, but we've practiced more of striving to be upright. You know what I mean? We have more experience of under our belt, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So a lot of times people get overwhelmed by all this information, right? They get overwhelmed, and they're just like, I don't even know where to begin. So, and they just say it's too much, so I'm gonna keep drinking the liquor, like we talked about earlier. So what would you say, and how can you simplify where someone could start? You know what I mean? Like, so let's say they don't know anything about their natal chart. They have no clue what illnesses are in their body, but they just know they want to do different, right? So what would you say are maybe 3 steps or 3 things people could start doing today, even if they don't make an appointment with you? You know what I mean? What could they do?
I would say, 1, be honest with yourself. You have to be honest. I would say you have to be honest. I say honest because I look at my natal chart. My natal chart is right here. So I have to be honest with myself. My natal chart shows me that if I slip up, if I'm not a vegan, because I am a vegan, my natal chart shows me if I slip up and start, I'm trying to say it without cussing, but I don't give a F. If I get a I don't give a F attitude, and I start eating meat again, want to start eating fried chicken and stuff, my natal chart shows me that a heart attack is going to take my life. My natal chart shows me that in plain view. So that's my honesty. That's my truth. And how do I also verify that my natal chart is truth? Because my dad passed of a heart attack, which means when I was born, he gave me this compromised heart. I didn't have this hearts. So I can see what's going to take my life if I slip up and start saying, I don't care about nothing. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. I only live one time. Yeah, it's going to be over with. I'm going to die from a heart attack. My natal chart shows me. So you have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself, okay, imagine me heating up some cheese, right? I heat up some cheese and I accidentally pour it right here on the table. When you wipe that cheese up, it's hard to wipe that cheese up. Cheese don't just come up. How you going to get that cheese out your heart? You can't wipe your heart down. You can't wipe your intestines down. You can't wipe anything inside of your body down. You can't wipe it all. It stays in there, you know? So what we have to start doing is, you know, not only caring, but just first you got to be honest. What, like this, you have a freeway. Now this freeway is good. Everything moves smooth with least amount of cars on there. So you're drinking juices and fruits so your heart can move and everything could be fluid. But once them cars get piled up, you eating bread, we eating cheese, we eating rice. Now we're clogging the freeway of our heart. Now we're putting blockages in there. Now you can't just reach inside your heart and start cleaning stuff out to give it no bath. And now you're drinking coffee, you're drinking pop. So that tells you you're giving your heart a bath with Pepsi. You give your heart a bath with Pepsi.
On. Yes.
Or coffee. Your heart is getting a bath with coffee. Or your lungs are getting a bath with coffee. Like, can you imagine hopping in the shower and only washing up coffee?
Right.
So we just have to be honest with ourselves, being truthful. Like, hey, man, this is going to clog me up. What do I love for? Do I love a pig more than I love my own heart? Yes, I do right now because I love bacon and I don't care. I'm going to throw it in me and who cares what's going to happen? So we literally love chickens more than we love our own lungs. You know, we love deer meat more than we love our own kidneys. And that's why I teach from the inside out, because I'm trying to get people. You love everything on outside of you. You love God. We love everything. You love nothing about yourself on the inside. There's 70 to 100 trillion cells inside a human body. All you got to do is know how to feed one of them healthy, and your whole body will be healthy. You know, all they need is fire, air, water, and earth. That's all they need is those 4 components to keep them healthy. You know, fresh air, fresh oxygen in your tissues, air, fire, sunlight, hydrogen, earth, your minerals, you know, good healthy water makes a clean environment. You know, if you're drinking coffee and you drinking Pepsi, you have a dirty environment inside your body, which means when you go to the bathroom and use the bathroom, what do you smell like? A damn sewer. You smell like a sewer because you putting stuff in your body that's rotting.
Right.
So we don't want operating like a sewer because we smell like a sewer. Our blood is going to be like a sewer. So we're going to be like a sewer. You know, bacteria, fungus, bunch of negativity because we're sewers, you know. So I think we got to be honest first. You know, you got to be honest. You got to turn within, you know, prayer, meditation. When you do your prayer and meditation, you got to get your butt up and go answer your prayer. Don't just sit around and ask for stuff. Get up and go answer your prayer, you know?
Man. Yes.
Then you be healthy. Say the meditation, design the meditation, design the prayer in your brain, and get up and go answer it.
Right.
You know, don't eat a cheeseburger talking about I want to be healthy. No, it's not going to happen. You know? Honesty, self-love meaning organ love, heart love, what can I put in my body today that's going to help my heart with circulation? This is ginger and orange juice. You know, what's circulation? What's going to help give me my 100,000 heartbeats per day? What's going to help me get there? Or am I going to eat some fried chicken, some mashed potatoes, which is going to suppress my my heart, which is going to subtract 30,000, possibly 40,000 heartbeats because you clogged it a little bit. So now you're on 30,000 heartbeats when you could have got 100,000, which means you could have had a little more energy, you know? So we got to start loving ourselves from the inside out. I call it 50 love. You know, you love everything on the outside. We get our hair done, our toes done. We get a fresh fade. All the outside look good. That's 50% of it. But what did you throw inside your body? You know? Pizza? Okay, you didn't love yourself at all. Because we got, like we said, 70 trillion cells to 100 trillion cells. Now, all those cells need good water, like we said, you know. Now, imagine me sitting here for 10 minutes straight with my hand smashing on my nose. Just, I'm going to suffocate and I'm going to die.
Yep.
Same thing with cells. If you put bread on them, that yeast is going to suffocate cells. You put a slice of cheese on top of cells, you're suffocating cells. Pancake syrup, you put them on top of them, you're suffocating cells. When you're suffocating cells, you're suffocating yourself. That's the connection. We're disconnected from our insides, you know? We don't think that's us.
So sorry, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I don't. Sorry. I was going to go ahead.
I took a class the other day, and one of the students, you hug your leg because it's about self-love. So you hug your leg. And the guy said, I've never in my life hugged my leg before. I said, what do you mean you never hugged your leg before? You hugged yourself. Your leg is not separate from you. And that's the disconnect. Yeah.
So I want to ask you this question. Can we rejuvenate cells? So with all that you talked about, right?
Yeah.
So can we rejuvenate cells?
You can rejuvenate your whole entire being. You know, you can do all that. Absolutely. 21-day fast. You know, 40-day fast. Yeah, of course you can. You got to do the right thing. You know? Fresh juice, the correct foods. Black people have no reason, no excuse to be juicing kale, eating kale. Don't eat no spinach. Spinach has bacteria in it. The only reason spinach sits in the store long as it sits in there is because they upload E. coli in it. E. coli is a preservative. That's why it serves well in the store. So then what happens? Where do you hear that E. coli breaks out at? Damn spinach.
Yep.
Yeah, but they put it in there to preserve it. So yeah, no business eating no type of spinach unless it's Malabar spinach, which you would have to grow yourself.
Right.
You don't want to eat any kale, no broccoli, no asparagus, no cabbage, because they're goitrogens. They're going to stop you from being able to synthesize your calcium and your potassium and the iodine. You know, so we have to understand our design, our carbon, copper, selenium, and we just have to stop pretending that we're nitrogen, sulfur, and ammonia because we're pretending. Because we don't know we're this, you know?
Right.
But yeah, you can actually rejuvenate cells easy. That's what I test.
Because I think, I was going to say, I think a lot of times people, and as I shared about how people, get overwhelmed, I think there's this other side of our thinking too, of like, well, I'm 40 and I've already, or I can't change, or I've already burned my brain cells from smoking weed or what, and we get into this apathy state of mind of like, well, I can't do anything anyway. Right. And so, that's why I wanted to address that question, because what I hear you saying is that in all that we've gone through and all that we've done to ourselves up until whatever this moment is that you hear this knowledge, you can begin to change your life immediately. You can switch gears instantly. And I think that that's really important, especially for the older, folks that have that mindset, you know what I mean? That just feel like I'm stuck in my ways. I can't do nothing different, or I can't get rid of this weight. This weight is just going to be on me for the rest of my life. Right. So I love hearing that, because I think that's that inspiration, that encouragement that people need. Because like we said, we started with that mindset. And I think we go that far or go that path of our mindset, and we just think that we can't fix anything, No,
we can do anything. We can do anything. We have an incredible mind. Our mind is so powerful. You don't even have to hear a song that you heard 30 years ago.
Come
you
on.
can read a song and start.
Yep.
It is impeccable. It could do anything. There's nothing. It's magnificent. We could do anything. All we have to do is pray on it, meditate on it, and get up and answer the prayer, and quit waiting on somebody to answer the damn prayer.
Right. I love that part. Get up and answer your own damn prayer. Because, we know there is no mystery God. So at the end of the day, we, ain't nobody going to come save us but ourselves.
Yeah.
Before you go, I want you to, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about your website and just what's on the website. I've seen the website and I love it. And there's different pieces. You got kind of the individual packages. You have kind of the meal plan packages. So just take some time, as much as you want, to just share, when people go to your website, what will they see, and what would you suggest that they start with to try to get involved with Healing Code?
Okay. Well, healingcode.solutions is my website. And I may be on to that in a minute, because it ain't about me selling products. I don't care about that. What I do want to give people is some things they can start doing right now, so they can start healing and repairing their body. So the first thing I would ask people to go buy, go on Amazon and buy you a bottle of olive leaf extract. I need you to do that first. Buy you some olive leaf extract. Now, make sure it's liquid. That's the key. Make sure it's liquid. And I only buy what's called the O'Barlin's brand. That's the one I recommend. The reason I'm telling you to go buy olive leaf extract, and there's no fancy way for you to take it, just follow the bottle. Okay. So what olive leaf extract does is it cleans the colon naturally, cleans your gallbladder. It kills parasites and bacteria in your stomach. And it also kills and eats excess liver fat to protect the liver. So for one way to protect yourself is to buy yourself a bottle of olive leaf extract. And if you're in Portland, Oregon, though, you could go to Natural Grocers on MLK, or they have a few other places. You can go there and grab you a bottle of that.
Hold on. Before you go to number 2, let me ask you about this olive oil situation. Because I did a detox and I had to drink a lot of olive oil in this detox. And I said I would never do that again. So how much are you recommending on the bottle that we have to drink?
No, this is olive leaf extract. This isn't olive oil. Yes,
so different. Okay.
Yeah, this all right. Product, but I will go into that. Olive oil, high polyphenol olive oil specifically. If it's not high polyphenol, then it's worthless. Okay, so
gotcha.
I do a teaspoon of olive oil every morning, just to keep my my heart, what's the word I'm looking for? Lubricated. Phenol kills, bacteria is excellent, but I wouldn't do a teaspoon, more than a teaspoon a day, not ever, but olive oil is good for you, in small portions.
Right.
Just don't heat it up, because once you heat up olive oil, you turn it into a different substance, which is a poisonous substance. But I wouldn't take no more than a teaspoon, at max a spoonful every morning. I wouldn't do more than that.
Okay. So once we get the olive oil leaf extract, then what would be next?
Extract, yeah. Okay, so next what you want to do, to keep your digestive tract clean, you want to do warm lime water every morning. So you can get key lime, you can order key lime, or just buy organic lime. All right. And you want to drink about 2 ounces to 4 ounces of warm lime water every day. That will clean excess mucus out of your lungs. So when you start drinking that warm lime water and you feel mucus come out, spit that crap in the garbage or spit it in the sink,
Mm-hmm.
spit it out, because that's your body getting rid of the crap it don't need. Don't swallow it again. Okay. But the key with the warm lime water is it cleans your whole digestive tract. Like we said, with the cheese being wiped off, it's hard for water to clean out the body. If water cleaned,
Mm-hmm.
then everybody would be healthy, but it doesn't. So we need natural acid to help clean the body, which is lime or lemon juice. That natural acid will clean that cheese off your digestive tract. We're specifically talking about the villi of the intestines, which is small hairs that pulls the nutrients out of your food. So when you're eating, your food goes over a little conveyor belt, and the villi of the intestines pulls the nutrients out of your food. But the problem is when we eating cheese, rice, and bread, it clogs these hairs. So instead of you being able to pull nutrients out of your food, the food goes straight to the toilet because your villi is clogged up. So how you clean the villi of your intestines, drink that warm lime water. Drink it every morning. If you feel like you having digestive trouble, do circadian rhythm. Morning, drink warm lime water. Sunset, or not sunset, at noon, drink warm lime water, and then at sunset drink warm lime water. That cleans your whole digestive system. It cleans your tongue, your esophagus, to the duodenum, to the small intestines, large intestine. It cleans your whole digestive tract. So that's 2 ways to take care of yourself internally. And if you want to go to healing code, we're more of a specific type of company. We do sell, detox products, but we're more specific. Like if you got HIV, there's a meal plan there and a particular supplement. Or if you got fibroids, there's a particular meal plan for fibroids and a supplement for women to help them get rid of that stuff, and so on and so forth. You just have to go on there, check out the products. Everything is made by me, plant-based. Everything is carbon-based. Everything is built to eliminate nitrogen from your body, your indigenous body, because essentially that's what you got to do to get rid of all sickness. You have to get rid of the nitrogen or you'll stay sick,
Right, right. Absolutely. And I encourage everyone to, whether you're in Portland or, of course, anywhere he can ship, I encourage you all to get the products. For me, one of the biggest things is who I can trust, right? So as much as I know health food or health minerals and all of that, I just can't go and buy any type of, like you said, olive oil or any type of whatever. I have to go to somebody that I trust because I know that they know what they're doing, right? A lot of times we go buy stuff, like you said, from Amazon or even at our natural grocers or Whole Foods, and we just don't really know who's actually making that product. And so for me personally, I just encourage you all that are listening, support yourself by buying products from someone who knows what they're doing, as in this brother here, because it's so important. You may find people that say, oh, this is a detox, right? But again, if you don't know the source, if you don't know the person's mindset, if you can't, tell if they know what they're doing, then that detox actually more harm to your body than actual good. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted him to just take some time to talk about his products, or as much as he wanted to, because again, it's not only important for us to know that we need to do differently or do better or eat better, but as important as that is where you get your source of your food and your ingredients from. That's just huge. So that's for me. Like I don't go just shopping around for the organic thing. I go goldwater.com for my minerals, and I go to Healing Code for anything else that I need in addition to that. So I think that's just really, really big and important.
Yeah, and just we have to, what we haven't paid attention to is political agenda. Everybody has a political agenda. Everything has a political agenda. Doesn't matter if you want to ignore it or not. You can go buy Oreo cookies all you want. It's still a agenda behind behind a product.
Right.
So when you come to Healing Code, They know our alternative, our, what's the word for alternative motive or our agenda. Our agenda is to heal. Our company's slogan is healing is the rule. So when you come to me, you coming to me from healing, and I'm gonna make sure your mind is right first, because I'm not gonna let you make me look bad.
Right.
Because I say
Right.
I'm here to heal people. I'm here to heal people. So I need you to go tell somebody you came here and got healed. Not gonna talk came to me with HIV and we didn't get rid of it. That's not gonna happen.
Right.
Because I'm not my meal plan, I'm not gonna give you my supplements until I know you're mentally ready. People will tell you I'm still on standby. He ain't hit me back yet. Yeah, you still talking the same. Not ready yet. You know, you man, man, I can't give up this. I can't give up that. Then I can't help you because you don't want to be helped yet. No, you don't even want to walk. I can heal anything if you go walk 3 times a week. You don't want to walk, man. I work too much. Well, man, just hit me when you're ready, man. Just hit me when you're ready, because I'm not gonna let you make me look bad. You know, I'm here serving my community, and it's healing is the rule. That's the rule. It's not no possibility. It's not no we hope. It's science. This is the science to heal you. You know, so yeah,
and that's the thing. We that type of conviction, you're not getting that from no one. I mean, it's not a lot of folks that will tell you you're not ready or keep your money, right? Because I mean, that's how it boils down to. A lot of people just keep taking the money, you know. No. But you know what you're hearing right now is integrity, you know, and a commitment to an individual's success in their healing, right? So, you know, I mean, just to tell somebody, no, you're not ready, and keep your dollars until you get ready, like that's we don't have a lot of that happening. You know what I mean? So I commend you for that, because that's just integrity. That's how we should be, you know. I want to say, you made me think of this other question before we wrap up. I want to ask you, because a lot of times people, when we take minerals or we take, you know, healing ingredients in our body, the question sometimes arises, do we have to take this for the rest of our lives, right? So what is your philosophy or belief, or what is it? Forget about a belief. If we have deficiencies of, I don't know, if there's an iron deficiency, for example, and we come under your direction, is that something that someone has to take for the rest of their lives, or are you building up their immune system in their body to begin to produce it on their own? Does that make sense, that question?
Yeah. First, to answer the first part of the question is, if they are that low, I'll recommend a liquid product to help them, you know, give themselves a boost. Because I recommend liquid substance. Just imagine the human body. If you take all the water out, you're going to die.
Right.
Human can't live without water. So that's the same with products, pills, and medication. Once you take all the water out, that product is dead. I don't care what mineral you're talking about is in it, it's dead. All right. So I only prescribe liquid products. So if it's liquid, that means they kept the minerals alive. So I do recommend liquids for people to take. But if they just need a quick boost, go buy a certain liquid mineral. But then after that, no, the diet will be able to protect you and give you everything you need to build your immune system. I do have specific meal plans that boost immune system, but for Black people, Indigenous people, to understand what builds their immune system differently, or what builds their immune system specifically, is you have to understand, like we already said, your carbon, copper, and selenium, which means you're a melanated being. So all melanated foods are for you. So if you take blackberries, blueberries, they have melanin in it. So what are they going to do? Strengthen your melanin. So we do blackberries, blueberries, dark cherries, anything that's dark, red bell peppers, you know, foods with melanin in them boost melanin people's immune system. So the foods will, you know, essentially make up for everything. But what we really have to do to know that you're getting your minerals, you have to grow your own food. We all have to get where we're growing our own food, because I mean we're still dealing with beliefs. person to tell you, hey man, go get you some sarsaparilla. It's got iron in it and it'll heal you. No, you're lying on accident. You know, you can't tell me
Right.
there's in something if you didn't plant it. You have to plant. You have to know you put mineral, because remember, we're dealing with the deficient since the 19th. We've been mineral deficient. So who put minerals in the soil so that the sarsaparilla, because flowers can produce their own vitamins. They can produce that, but they cannot produce their own minerals. They have to absorb them from the soil. So don't tell me sarsaparilla got iron in it if you didn't plant it, because you're lying.
Right. Right.
You're not unintentionally, but you're still lying.
Yep.
You know, so we have to plant our own food so we can know what's in our food. And that way, you know, are deficient, you know, we can fix it ourselves, you know.
Got you. Okay. Man, this was good. This was good. I appreciate you for coming on. We finally got the sound, and man, this is going to be a blessing for anyone that tunes in. In the chat, the folks were loving the conversation. So I know that we're not the only ones that were appreciating this. But before we go, do you have any last comments or anything you want to leave with the people?
I mean, in summation, all we were trying to say to everybody was protect your organs. That's the name of my new book. It's going to be out by January. It's called Protect Your Organs. It's a self-defense guide for health and wellness. It's got a few of the recommendations I already gave y'all: warm lime water, olive leaf extract. This is what I did want to give y'all to cure COVID. If any of y'all family members get COVID, this is what you need to do so they don't pass away, so you can at least fight it off. You need to get these products. So I'll give y'all what I've been using to cure COVID. Over 180 people. This is what y'all need. So you need to go to Amazon, get you a bottle of, pay attention, food grade hydrogen peroxide, not normal hydrogen peroxide. Get food grade hydrogen peroxide. Why do I use hydrogen peroxide to cure COVID? One, because it's oxygen. Two, when you get an infection in your body, if you get any bacteria in your body naturally produces hydrogen peroxide. That's why I use hydrogen peroxide. So you're going to need the hydrogen peroxide, keep it on the shelf. Number two, what you're going to need, I already told you to get it, is the olive leaf extract. So we know when you do hydrogen peroxide, sometime it'll foam up. So what you have to do, you have to guide it into the body with a plant-based iron, which is the olive leaf extract. The olive leaf extract will bind with the hydrogen peroxide and guide it into your body safely. So hydrogen peroxide, olive leaf extract. Get you a bottle of vitamin D3. Small bottle of vitamin D3. Get you a small bottle of all these products are liquid too. Remember what we just said, everything has to be liquid. So also get you a small bottle of black radish liquid. What else do I use? I believe that's it. Oh, and then you just mix it with beet juice. Sometimes, most times I mix it just for like when kids need to drink it. I mix beet juice in with all that stuff, and then I mix in apple juice. But what you want to do, say you're making a gallon of this juice to kill COVID. So with that gallon, you want to take, let's see, with a gallon, you want to add 1 spoonful of olive leaf extract, 1/2 spoon of the food grade hydrogen peroxide, then add 3 droplets of the vitamin D3, the black radish, and then you want to use alkaline water. So if you got a gallon of alkaline water, don't pour out half of it. Just pour it, into a different container. And then once you got the half gallon of water, fill that up with the rest of the gallon up with beet juice. You could throw blackberry juice in there. You could throw apple juice in there just to give it some flavor. So it's easy to go down. But if you fixing a gallon to get rid of COVID, just use that basic. That'll at least stop your family members from passing away, and it'll kill it. Within 3 days. or less. With the first strand of COVID, I was killing COVID in under 30 hours. This new crap has been taking me a couple days. So that
are there specific brands on any of that? That's one question in the chat. So any specific brand?
Remember when I said the olive leaf extract? I only do the Obarlians. So do that one. The vitamin D3 on the Amazon website is a little small blue bottle. It's a small blue bottle. The black radish. Wait, here, hold on, y'all, because I just made COVID for somebody yesterday.
Good question, y'all. Good question.
Yeah, excellent.
This is jewels, y'all. Like this is man.
So
we don't need no vaccine. This is the cure right here.
So this peroxide I use, I buy it off of Amazon. So it's got red writing. It's called Oxygen Wellness Hydrogen Peroxide Food Grade. I guess the company is called Oxygen Wellness.
Perfect.
That's that part. Here's the black radish. It's from Hawaiian farms, indigenous land. Hawaiian farm. That's the black radish. I got it off Amazon. I didn't have the Obarlin's black seed, not black seed, I mean olive leaf extract. So I had to use this one. But that's the olive leaf extract. I need to take a shot of that. So make sure y'all take that every day. This is another vitamin D3 source, but this is called pine pollen.
Okay.
So you can get this one and this is from Hawaii too. I like to get, like we talked about, our products from indigenous. There's more oxygen. So pine pollen for vitamin D3. Carbon-based chlorophyll. This is what I forgot to tell y'all. You need this for it too, because this is liquid oxygen.
Yeah.
This is liquid oxygen too, but this is liquid oxygen as well. So don't forget the chlorophyll. Add these three, add them all the same, just 3 droplets. The vitamin D3, black radish, and chlorophyll. Then you can throw a pinch of lime juice in there.
Y'all see the brother got his medical bag. You know the white bags in the movies, the little white or the black medical bag? He got his medical bag, y'all. I love it. Yes.
I literally sell this recipe I just gave y'all for free for $150 for a gallon. I just gave it to y'all for free. Y'all see, I just pulled it right out of my bag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm here to help save my community. So this will save somebody.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So y'all got it right there. That's the recipe. It's the recipe in the black bag. And we know that, illnesses ain't going nowhere. So I'm sure that if it's addressing COVID, it's going to address a flu symptom. It's going to address this so-called new strand that they don't say came out of Africa. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that today. But it's going to address all that. So
key is the body needs oxygen. When you got it, your body needs oxygen to free up them passageways. Just like COVID, just like cancer. Cancer can only survive in an environment where there is no oxygen, which that means cancer, they're strictly a meat eater because they're not getting no oxygen. You're not eating no fruits, no vegetables. So there's oxygen in your body. Like we said, cells need to breathe too, or you'll suffocate them. So the way you help them breathe, drink juices, feed them the air, fire, water, and earth. So your nostrils need to breathe, your lungs need to breathe, but more importantly, your cells need to breathe. And what keeps them getting sick is oxygen. So when you put oxygen in your body, you can kill cancer with oxygen, and you can kill COVID with oxygen. Yeah.
There it is. We're going to end on that because I got all types of questions, but we would be here for another 3 hours.
But if not, you could just tell people also they can go to healing.solutions. They can send me there all or if they need any health advice, any of that stuff, we here to serve our community, period. Nothing to talk about.
There it is, y'all. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all the listeners that tapped in. Remember, this is up on the YouTube. This will also be an audio podcast as well. So we will be able to hear this over and over again if we need to. I appreciate y'all tapping in. The first 10 minutes was a little choppy, but you know that we just had to get that out the way. What I did realize is that the people was blocking us. So every time I tried to tag you in a post on social media, kept crashing. So you know what that tells me is that they didn't want this knowledge to be out. But we persevered, and it's going to be saved, and it's here, and it's going to be pushed out. So for all those that tapped in, make sure you share this out to your families. There'll be little clips that I'll make for us to have, but this is knowledge that we have to get out to our people and make them hear it. You know, play it in the car, whatever you got to do. Go ahead.
You don't want to make nobody do nothing. You know, everybody got their right to their own beliefs. So we can't interrupt that. You know, you gotta let people have it. But whoever will lend us an ear, we'll speak to them. But
absolutely,
you know, yeah, we don't want to make nobody do nothing, man. Because they're all they're gonna do.
We're not gonna make them. We're not gonna make them.
You know.
But you know, we can do subtleties. You know, if they in your car, push play. Yeah. You know, let them get the knowledge on your own terms. But I appreciate you.
Tag me in this video when you
absolutely.
do.
I will if they allow me to. Like I said, they kept blocking it. So
and they know
you all the listeners though, y'all have it. So please share it out on your platforms as well, so that we can get as much attention to this information. So as always, I thank you so much. I appreciate you, and may Allah continue to bless you and everyone else that has listened. Thank you so much for tapping in.
Peace.
That was beautiful, y'all. Beautiful. But I'm so serious about them shadow banning me or whatever it's called. It was a rough start. If y'all joined us at 11, you would have seen his video was choppy, his audio was choppy. We couldn't get it together. It was a whole situation. So, but we made it, and it's recorded. So that's the beauty of it all. So I appreciate you all for tuning in to The Art of Living. We're going to come back again very soon with another wonderful, wonderful episode. So until then, share this video out, share the podcast once it's made. And more importantly, make sure you protect your organs. All right. Protect your organs. Love yourself. Don't let the doctors love you more than you love yourself. All right, y'all. So peace and blessings. And I appreciate everyone that's tapped in. You all know how to find me. Peace.